Oh, yeah. I think it works. This is incredible. Or I don't know if it's incredible yet. You tell me if it's incredible. I'm always trying to, improve the setup here, both in terms of the quality you get and also in terms of usability for me, because I know that the easier it is for me to set things up, uh, the more you'll be seeing of me. But right now I'm trying to use my regular, mirrorless Sony camera as a webcam for these live streams as well. And previously, it's been a little bit of a mess, I think, to set it up. But I'm hoping that this version, this way of doing it is going to be easier. I don't know. Yeah, again, you tell me. so, hello there, Nima. What's up? I could see your comment. That's a start. Asrineke, sorry for butchering your name. What's up? Lots of good people here. So nothing too fancy here. I still need to kind of figure out the angles and stuff like that. But I'm hoping that maybe there's an improvement in video quality. It looks fine on my end, but I'm going to have to check this when we're done. SVJW, what's up, my man? And yeah, as you might know, I've also worked a bit on kind of streamlining all the sources, so I can sort of get them directly to you, and we don't have to go through like a crappy microphone in the room. So that means that you should be hearing that directly, and hopefully it sounds better. I don't know. CQ, you're too good, bro. You're too kind, man. Thank you, man. Shanin, hello there. So what are we playing tonight? Well, actually, it's still morning or pre-lunch here in Stockholm, Sweden. But we are playing stuff. So in that sense, it's perfectly a legit question. Let's see here if I can improve. Yeah, I'm not playing anything yet. I've just been setting up stuff. But we should play, of course. That's why we're here. I need my armband here. I don't know, maybe the level of the guitar is a little bit low. I think it is. Let's fix that. Okay, better maybe. Let's see here. Steelheart. Sorry, man. I don't even know what that is. Helby, thanks for confirming. Sounds good. Awesome, man. So, a lot of times I'll just, sit like this, sit on a chair. This is so intriguing. And I'll play guitar. No, but I'll have this. Yeah, you can see that. This drum machine, you've seen it before. And maybe I'll start with just practicing over a groove. And we can do that. My favorite genre. Whew, that's a tricky one. A good song is a good song, but I like metal. I like power metal. Right now I'm listening to some power metal, trash metal. I like any metal that has a barky voice. So think James Hetfield, Paradise Lost, that kind of thing. Or the raspy, think Kurt Cobain. I'm an old schooler, but I like any good new song. I listen to a lot of pop music, though I couldn't tell you the name of the bands, but that's because I listen to the playlists of my kids. They're very, very useful. I practice to it as well. Very cool stuff. It's a shame I can't do it here. It would be a lot of fun. Ooh, I see comments from YouTube. Awesome. Fade to Black. Now I can see while I should even try. Yeah, sorry, can't do that. Ooh, the loner. No. I can't remember it. Yeah, that's it. I have to look that up. Thanks. It's my old track. Thanks for reminding me, man. Roblox said your name now. So I'm trying to comment both on stuff coming in from YouTube and from Instagram here. And a little bit of Facebook. I don't think we have any comments yet from Facebook. So I'm happy because this seems to work. And I think this should be much better quality. But the angle is a little bit messed up now. I don't really know where to look. So I'm going to have to think about that. Well, why don't I change it right now? This is probably a very silly idea, but sometimes silly ideas are fun. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to change the angle now. Sorry for... Man. Oh. Whoa. There's my lamp. Oh, maybe this is better. Let's try it. Yeah. I think we're onto something. Well, I'm sorry for experimenting here right in the session, but to my defense, I actually labeled this session as testing. So what did you expect? Okay, a little bit better, but now I chopped off my head, which is never a good thing. Yeah. Now you get... The stuff is tricky. Like this, maybe? Do, 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 do. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, maybe the first angle was better, but I could sit like this as well, and I think give you a slightly better view. The thing is, I'd like to be able to look at you, see your comments. Look in this direction and see your comments. So I could, simultaneously both see your comments and you have me see, you see my face. So let's do this. Yeah, maybe that's better. Oh, Nima, you lost the loner. Let's try it again. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, thanks for requesting my old tracks, by the way. Totally makes my day. So, oh, now it's pulling. Sorry, I'm gonna have to do this. I don't know if you've seen my other videos, you know that I live in cable hell. That's why things can behave weirdly here. Now you see the guitar really well, but you don't see my face. Here's a little bit of everything, maybe. I don't know. This is pretty cool, isn't it? It's a pretty cool angle. Yeah. Oh, loner, never meant to see you. I have planted a seed. I can't sing and play that. I never did it. It's just a studio song. I have planted a seed in your brain. uh, Again, thanks for the request. So someone is crazy about Love Story by Indira. I don't know that one. Sorry, mate. You can stop requesting it because I can't see the other comments. Disposable Heroes. Okay, well, I think the angle is a little bit better now. It's just this freaking head cable. But I'm not sure I actually need that. Or do I? Ah, yeah, I do need it whenever I want to listen to the drum machine. So what should we do now? We have the setup here. You get to decide. Well, I have a better camera now, so I mean, I could show you maybe like close-ups. Would that work? It does, yeah. It's a pretty nice close-up here, if you ask me. Here's the guitar. I don't know if you even wanted to see the guitar, but now I can show you the guitar, and I think it looks better than my regular streams where I have my phone. This camera can actually produce some pretty cool close-ups, I think, at least in comparison. So there's the Scalloped fretboard, which everybody is asking me about. You can see the neat curvature here. All the way up to fret 1. That's the way I want it. It's the headstock. Locking tuners. Go. It's like an infomercial now. Yeah, Jukebox, thanks. I love this guitar. Bought a Fender Stratocaster. Before that, I played the Les Paul. What are the coolest songs with singles? You mean with single coils? Yeah, it's crazy, the single coil versus... Chris, what's up? Robin, what's up? Yugal, lots of good people on YouTube. Ben, I've been playing guitar for this guitar, for 20 years, I think, something like that. So it's a cool question there. What are the best guitars to play? What are the best songs to play with single coil versus humbuckers? So I could give you probably an elaborate list. There are some good examples there with, for example, Mark Knopfler and his Sultans of Swing versus Money for Nothing. I guess that would be a good example of like single coil clean tones versus humbucker high gain. But the truth is that sometimes it's a little bit blurred because you can do coil tapping. You can do. I have inadvertently both my LP style guitars are actually doing like a phase cancellation if I start toggling the toggles, the pickup switch. So, and that also gives you like single coil characters. But anyhow, I don't know, man. It's a hard question. I think you can do a lot of metal with single coils, and you can do a lot of clean stuff with humbuckers, but they do have very distinct sound. And for like decades, I wanted to ignore this, but it's the reality of it. Guitars actually sound very different, and sometimes if you're just playing the guitar like unplugged in the guitar store, and you're like, man, I can play my C chord on this Les Paul, and it sounds almost the same as my Strat or as this Strat. But even though that can be true, the whole thing with the electric guitar is that you amplify the signal. And when you amplify stuff, small differences can get huge. So, and as I said, I didn't want to believe this myself because it just complicated everything. I could just kind of postpone the whole gear thing to later on. But then eventually I realized that, yeah, stuff matters, Guitars pickup matters, and lots of other stuff matters as well. I'm not even going to get into the tone wood thing. And when you realize that, it's like, okay, it's complex. You can play a lot of good single coil songs with a humbucker, I think, if you dial in a good tone. If you balance the tone so that it works. Yeah, I don't know. Another example is, I think Guns N' Roses is a good example of that. Many of their cool songs, you're actually hearing like a Les Paul and a Tele, or a Les Paul and a Strat together. So they complement each other in a cool way. I think a lot of times that's how Slash and Izzy did it back in the days, and maybe now as well. Did I have any formal music training or education? I had 1 year of private tuition with a fantastic Swedish guitarist, Christian Niemann, and he still does some really cool stuff. Check him out. So he basically taught me the basics of just modes, stuff like that, arpeggios, a little bit of an introduction to technique. He is a very skilled legato player. But we didn't do too much of that. He just showed me all these guitarists, and he lent me, back in the days, we had CDs, right? So I got to borrow lots of CDs from him, and that was really important because I'd never heard of all these dudes, mostly dudes, like Eric Johnson and Steve Morse and Alan Holsworth and Tony McAlpine, and the list goes on. So I think that was actually my biggest takeaway, just the introduction to the world of guitar music. And I'm not a fan to the point where I listen to guitar music regularly, but what that allowed me to do was basically just grab the best stuff from all those albums. So maybe I didn't like the songs, but I could still take a lick here and there, and that would be cool. For fuck's sake, just get on with it. Hey, Julian, what's up? We got some people from Facebook. That's awesome. Kajal, YouTube. Humbucker with 5-way switch. Humbucker with 5-way switch. Yeah, that's cool, for sure. I have a few of those. So yeah, my 1 year of formal education, I guess. Just private tuition. That's it. I tried to get into some music schools here when I was 19, 20, but I never got into them. I guess I was too crappy. A lot of those music schools also wanted I think a slightly jazz bluesy direction. I guess they were traditional, conservative, whatever. And I was into shred and really weird fusion and stuff like that. So I couldn't really play anything, I think, that please them. And I guess, yeah. Whip out some fine examples of what scalloped necks are good for. Well, I would typically warm up a little bit before doing that, you can play anything you would do on a normal guitar, of course. I mean, it's nothing that fancy. It's just a matter of, it's the same thing as raising the fret or replacing the frets with super jumbo or high frets. Basically, you want to avoid touching the wood with your fingertip because that gives you friction. And that friction not only makes like bending that kind of thing makes it more difficult. But also when you're hammering on, unless you hit the string perfectly, you will be touching some wood. And if the wood kind of blocks you from getting a good connection with the string, it's going to affect the sound of your legato runs and ultimately the sound of your speed runs, So unless you have an absolutely perfect legato technique, and you probably don't, considering that even Yngwie Malmsteen uses, scalloped guitars to get this effect, then I think most people who are into, doing legato runs, they do benefit from really high fret wire or scallop frets, or why not have both? I'd love to have that on some guitar. Play something from Metallica. Do I prefer high or low output pickups? Definitely low, or medium. This would be, I guess, in between. It's the Fender SEN. It's a tricky beast. I've learned to appreciate hotter pickups a bit more these days. But I think the classic ones, like the GB and the Seymour Duncan GB and the EMGs, the active ones, that was all too much. So when I tried that back in the days, I hated it. But these days, I mean, I really like the high output pickups on my Solar guitar. I think Ola had these Duncan Solars in the beginning. He has some other ones now that are probably awesome as well, considering he has a good taste for tone. But those are useful. I can shred, I can do metal, I can play cleanly with it. And you know, if I installed maybe a coil tap or something, I'm sure it would get even better for clean stuff. So yeah, if it's a well balanced high output and it's not too extreme, that can work. But if I were stuck on a desert island, I would definitely ask for, first some food and water, but then single coils. Sorry, single coils and low output, or medium if I have to. These are actually like fake single coils. They're stacked single coils. And not only that, but there's actually this S1 switch, so without it, to me that sounds, oh, did I miss some Instagram comments? So to me, this sounds pretty single coilish, but if I press the S1 switch, I get a fake single coil connected in series. So actually a lot of magnet in there, I guess. But I like that for some of the arpeggio stuff, And if I use the single coil mode, pretty cool difference, I think, in sound there, Single coil mode. So press the S1 switch. Yeah, pretty useful. I have done a similar thing on my own, just using like push-pull switches. The thing is, it all depends, if you have soft or low output pickups, then usually you want to somehow stack them in series or parallel with a switch. If you have high output pickups, whether they're fake single coils or true humbuckers, whatever you want to call them, then usually splitting on coil tapping is a good idea. Sorry, don't know Stargazer Rainbow. Thank you, Mikey, for kind words. I'm extremely knowledgeable. That's very good to hear. Thanks. Good enough for me, thank you. Okay, we got my man Hit 2000. So yeah, let's. Hit 2000, what are you up to today, man? I'm testing running my shorts camera as a live stream camera, and it's a lot of fun. Ooh, I can see we have my man Louis Moreno from Facebook as well. At least you did wake up. That's a good thing. Some people never do, and then you don't hear from them again. Well, that was actually pretty sad and morbid, but that's the best reply I could muster. Cool, hit 2000. So you can see a difference. That's awesome. I'm kind of, scouting a little bit and trying to see whether this is cool, you know. It's always balanced to find something that looks cool, something that's fairly easy to set up. This should be okay. How do I phrase better with major and minor blues scale? Very cool. So let's do a little bit of that. I guess we could just try to combine E minor pentatonic with E major. So if we combine that, I totally failed. One more time. Maybe we can grab something a bit bluesier here. Oh, I guess that's okay. So mostly minor here. Major. But the real strength comes from when you actually phrase with them and not just play them up and down. So maybe that's nice, right? I added one major note at the end. So if you want to try that, what you need to do, I think starting with E is a good idea because you can hit that low E string and get the harmony. So E minor pentatonic, you probably know it. That's how it looks on the top strings. And then E major. So the major pentatonic, 14 on the D string, and then I guess you would do 11, 12, no, 14, 11, 13, 12, 14, 12, 14. So if you combine that but not playing all the notes at the same time, so we don't want to play it up and down like, and then it sounds kind of boring. We have to kind of cherry pick some notes here and there. So that's cool. If you have lights room behind, will not interfere with the lights over here. It can interfere. It's okay. I mean, you're seeing a little bit of a spotlight there, which I use just to see the settings on my amp. I don't think it interferes much with this setup. So the trick, if you want to try that, learn the minor pentatonic, E minor, and then the E major pentatonic, and then try to combine them like two notes from one scale and then two notes from the next. But you don't want to kind of restart from the starting point. You want to choose the closest note, the note that's nearby, and that's how it makes, how it becomes a little bit more natural sounding, right? If I play the scale up and down, so start minor and then major, it just sounds like scale, right? So you want to start in E minor and then somewhere here change and then go back and go back again, you know. So that's kind of the trick there to make it sound natural. I think a lot of people get stuck because they play the scale up and down once or twice. It's like, yeah, it doesn't sound like the real thing, but those are just the notes, and then you have to figure out what to do with them. So we had a question on Instagram: improvise a solo in D natural harmonic. So basically D harmonic minor. So we have like D. I need to warm up, I think, with that. So that's for Sidnat, who wanted to an improvised solo in D harmonic minor. Oh, and then 2 pentatonic. Oh, I missed the ending. Okay, so let's combine. Oh, that's because you added it. Okay, I thought I was getting confused. So let's see here. Let's try that and then add the pentatonic scale at the end. So D harmonic minor. Throwing in some diminished 7 arpeggios there. That's what makes it sound really harmonic minor. And then some pentatonic. Ouch! Bend out of tune one more time. So those are all pentatonics. So if we do that and then go back to harmonic minor, you can maybe hear the difference. Harmonic minor now. So, one of them is, I guess, classical sounding or something, and the other one is really rock and roll. And when they meet, it's pretty cool. And of course, I always think of Yngwie with that kind of thing, and he did that quite a bit, though a lot of times he would just stick to 7-note scales like minor or harmonic minor. But he definitely does a lot of cool blues stuff as well. I'd like to see him mix it more often, I guess, in a way. Because when you go melodic, so you have your shreddy runs, everybody loves them, right? At least if you're a guitarist. And then you want to land somewhere, and that's when you have the option to continue building melody in like the harmonic minor scale, or you can transition to more rock-based, think Joe Satriani, like, more hit-sounding melodies, and I think that there's some power in that. Sidna, thanks a lot for digging it. So, for example, if we try to, just play the pentatonic scale here on the 10th position. That's a good place to do your... You can do those kind of melodies, and then you can do some... and weave in that more harmonic minor approach. So you... Yeah, we got my man Andre from Facebook. So I like that sound. I like it when you mix the rock sound with the harmonic minor sound. I don't know, a lot of times though those fancy scales, the one you hear about but never really use, they're I think best used if you're not going completely crazy math rock meets jazz or something. It's just a spice, right? And that can be a little bit hard to accept if you're working maybe for years to master that melodic minor scale, and then it's like, yeah, I just use it as a spice. You're still gonna go back. If you're like rock-based guitarist, you're still gonna go back to the pentatonic. So that's gonna be the most important thing. So you have the option of not spending those years and just throw in some random notes. That can also take some time to get good at, but it's definitely an alternative approach. Or you can think of all these scales and names and stuff like that. But I like to, a lot of times, although I have learned a lot of those fancy scales, I still just like to use outside notes and think of them as outside notes, and I don't always think of what I do, even though it might have a fancy name. Most of the time I just think of it, I'll choose that note which is not part of the scale. So let's, you can just maybe illustrate that. Sidnat, you wish you could get a lesson from me. That would be an honor, man. I hope we can do it. Okay, so. I don't know if you can hear that, but I pretty much added all 12 notes there, as color. And, when I started doing this, I didn't care and didn't really know what the names of the notes were. Now I'm more in control of the theory, so I do know that I'm adding I'm adding the major 7 and the major 6 and creating that melodic minor thing. But it doesn't really matter. It's just outside notes. And then maybe I'm thinking, let's add this, like a bebop thing where I add both the minor 6 and the major 6. I can go even more crazy bebop and maybe do the ninth and the minor ninth or the flat ninth. If I combine that with the other bebop thing, I get. And it gets really outside sounding. Maybe add the major third as well. So a lot of color there, but you don't have to know what their name is. That's not important. You need to work on incorporating them in a natural way, and that's the hard part. Googling some scale and figuring out where the dots are. That's easy, but it doesn't help you much. You're gonna forget about that pretty quickly. The hard part is, play anything that's outside of what you would regularly play. And I'm sure most of you people watching this, longtime fan, Joshua, since Curious Coincidence. Thanks, man. Awesome to see you here. So I'm sure most of you guys know some pentatonic licks. And I always speak about this, but it's just the easiest way to try all of this. Just figure out any note that's outside and try to throw it in, If you always play this, do something else. The Dorian note. That's the, the bebop thing where I play minor 6, major 6. So many ways. I don't really like that I'm keep getting back to these names because I think they just scare people. They confuse people. Just play the stuff that's not contained in your pentatonic scale. They have fancy names. They are cool. They can work if you work on it and make it work. Maybe a bit too much, but that's how you have to work on it. How do you work on developing an outside sound? Oh, very cool. So do you mean like specifically the sound, like the rig, or more of the harmony? Like the stuff we're doing now where I just pick these random notes. Could I ever respect a hack musician? What is a hack musician? I have no idea what that is. Either you're a musician or you're not. I don't think there are hack musicians. Okay, so the harmony, yeah, that's so the way I've done it is like I said, I've started just adding random notes outside of the pentatonic scale, and I noticed that they work, right? And I figured, yeah, they probably have names, but I'm not too concerned about that right now. Let's instead just play them, and I did. And again, there are only 12 notes to choose from, so I ended up trying most of them. Maybe I didn't do too much like melodic minor, stuff like that, but definitely you did the flat fifth or added the major third in a bluesy context, or added the ninth and all that stuff. And then I tried some of the, okay, take your melodic minor scale and play it a half step up. That's like the traditional way of teaching, like the altered scale. Never liked that. If I'm going to do that, what I'll do instead is just grab any arpeggio and make sure it doesn't fit what I'm playing. So if I'm playing in E, let's say, I wouldn't play like the C minor. That works kind of well. It just sounds Aeolian. So I could maybe do the C sharp minor, the C major in E minor works well, okay? So here's E minor. And I can play E minor pentatonic, but I can also play the C major triad. And that fits, it's diatonic. Instead, I would try the C sharp major triad, which sounds really bad. So just listen to this. Sounds really bad, right? You have to work on trying to get that into your phrasing. So let's try it again. So I threw it in there as a quick thing, and I think it worked. One time. I failed. So yeah, that's how I went about it, Josh. Just starting with random notes and then trying to get a bit more, throwing in not just random notes, but actually random scales and arpeggios. And then it's a constant work in progress. You try different stuff and something works, and that sticks, and then you develop it a little bit more. You add another note, and you try it in different kind of settings, and you realize, hey, that works both in relative minor or major, whatever. So small steps all the time, and I think the first steps were just, going for those outside notes. I don't know metalcore riffs. Sorry, man. I'm too old for that. It's the wrong generation. I never really stumbled upon some very some very like I guess good metalcore songs. I think there are, but I think is that that's a genre that sounds a little bit too processed, isn't it? It's just overly processed. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I need to figure stuff out, but so I no, I don't know any. Sorry, man. This is just lousy excuses for being crappy. I'm shit. I don't know it. Thank you, Josh, for the great question. So, Wendy, good morning, guitar champions. Thank you, thank you. Or where's the champion? Okay, so do I know some Mark Knopfler style riffs? I don't. I mean, this. That's. If I play like fingerstyle, to me that's a bit Mark Knopfler. It also goes into with what Pranav is asking about fingerstyle picking or finger picking. This is the stuff I love doing when soloing. It's more of like a rake thing, this. And I've broken this down in my shorts as well, but basically you just lightly touch the strings and you do the like that. But then you need some kind of target note. So you do this and you land on a real note, and that's when it sounds cool. Someone, Dark Mountains is really angry with my guitar and the United States. So is it because this one is done in the US? I don't know. I'm not from the US. I'm in Sweden. You can still be angry with the US though, but can you please sing Devil Has Horns? Sorry, don't know it. Dark Mountains. Oh, sorry. So that kind of fingerstyle picking is pretty cool, I think. Okay, I think we have to do some banning here. Let's see, can I ban? Maybe it's hard to ban. Just got my first electric guitar and I admit I can't find anywhere to start. Oof, it's a big topic, man. So I would advise you to know where to start. Always start with the stuff you love listening to, And even if that means tackling a song that is a little bit harder than you would normally do, I would recommend that. Because the worst thing you can do is like find some random dude on the internet and have them tell you a good place to start, like in terms of a song or an exercise. It has to be somewhat tailored to you, otherwise you're going to put the guitar down. So I think the biggest problem people face in the beginning is not a lack of suggestions, it's probably a lack of motivation, right? And the only way you can stay motivated is to start with material that really intrigues you as a guitarist. Lepitera, thanks so much for the support. like Mark Knopfler, for example, Mark Knopfler, then start with a like maybe try to find a like simpler riff of his, just as like chord progression, just play the basic chords without even playing the exact rhythm or anything like that, just to get you started and get some positive feedback, because it's hard in the beginning. Um, there's no way around sounding like crap for a very long time. So if you're not even trying to play the material that you love listening to, you're screwed basically. You will be discouraged. Cool, guys. So uh, I can't I can't imagine, or I didn't imagine we would be doing a whole full session here, but I actually have to stop now because I'm gonna eat lunch with my daughter at 12 o'clock. That's gonna be fun, and but we definitely need to do more of these. And do let me know if you think that this the video makes a substantial difference and improvement. It's a little bit more time consuming to set up than my phone. So, if you really don't care, I don't need to do it. But yeah. Exactly, Wendy. Play what you love. Those are some very wise words. So yeah, if you do like the improved quality, I might stick to it, because what I've done is I've basically improved or simplified the audio setup quite a bit. So that chunk of setup is now gone, and that allows me to focus a little bit more on the video. Previously, when I wanted to do this, I first had to spend like 30-40 minutes hooking everything up the way I wanted to. And I can't leave it like that because I do other things with the same equipment, and then I would have to duplicate all the equipment. Cable hell would get even worse, and I would run out of space and money. But now I have a mixer, then that helps me quite a bit. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the session. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon again. See ya. Cheers.